Hi there, my name's David. On this episode, I'll be doing a review of this. This is the Sea to Summit Flame series of sleeping bag. Now, they've recently upgraded or changed their system to be the Spark. So to get your head around this, Sea to Summit has two types, male and female. The Spark is male. The female is the Flame. Now, I have a female sleeping bag, and there's a reason for that. But their new series, they're calling all of them the Spark. So there's no more Flame, despite this being the Flame. They're the same sleeping bags, they've just kind of reworded it, so what you'd be looking for is a female Spark, which would be the same as this one, which is the Flame.
The sleeping bag is as snug as a bug. It's very comfortable. It's very soft. It is a little bit slippery if your sleeping pad is kind of slick and slippery.
So let's break down this sleeping bag and why this is my absolute favorite. This sleeping bag is the Flame 3. So just looking at the numbers of this bag, so there's a comfort, there's a limit rating, and extreme. And it's something to note with women's bags. This bag here is a -4 or 25 degrees Fahrenheit comfort rating. And I've had this down to -4 or 25 Fahrenheit, and it was very comfortable. It's nice and toasty warm. The limit rating is -10. The extreme rating on this is -29 Celsius or -20 Fahrenheit, which is crazy. So this is a very versatile bag for how light it is, 1.6-ish pounds. So I go based off of the female rating because I sleep cold. That's something to look at for any of the creators you watch. Do they sleep cold or do they sleep hot? Especially men, they tend to sleep a lot hotter than women do. That's why women have a comfort rating and men have a limit rating. But the main thing to note with this is, as you can see, it has a zipper here that goes all the way up, zips you up. But it also has a zipper on the bottom here. So if you look at the zipper here, this is the bottom. You can grab the zipper and pull it up from the bottom. So when you're sleeping in warm temperatures like I'm gonna have tonight, you can just open up the foot here. And well, there's a little bit of a foot box here, and it is actually flared, so it has lots of room for your feet. You can open it up from the bottom and just have this whole area open, letting all the heat out. So I basically use this year round, unless it's in August when it gets really hot, then I'll go to a quilt. But aside from that, I'm using this year round now, and it's been fantastic. So tonight I'll be sleeping with it like this, a big opening there, and then just probably a small section that's actually zipped up, and then the top all open. I believe this uses a 850 or 900 fill down. I'll put it on the screen. This uses a really high quality down filling. I'm not getting any of it poking and coming out. It's a really soft sleeping bag. It's so comfortable. It does have a bit of a pillow barn, which you can see here. So this isn't a huge pillow barn, but it's enough if you have, like, I'm using a Nemo Philo pillow tonight. I keep switching up all my pillows, but that'll be able to tuck nicely in there. It does have a bit of a draft collar here as well. So you can see the draft collar. It's not that thick. There are thicker draft collars on the market, but we zip it up here, which I should note, as you're zipping it, it never catches. I don't know how they've done this. It's a lot like those Western mountaineering bags too. Those don't catch, they're fantastic. So you can zip yourself all the way up. There's also a snap at the top here. So you can see the snap. If you are like someone who likes to really snap in and lock yourself in like that, I personally don't like that, but it's there if you want it. There's also a cinch at the top. So when you have it fully done up, you can pull this cinch and really, you know, if it's cold out and you really want to cinch it down and keep all the heat in, that's a nice feature. So you can see the draft collar here is just this bit here. It's probably one of the smaller ones out there. For me, I haven't had a problem. I don't use this in really, really low temperatures. I'm not going -20 Celsius, that kind of thing. I don't typically go and camp in really cold temperatures. I keep it around 0 Celsius, or was it about 36 degrees Fahrenheit or whatever. That's kind of my limit, and I try to stay above that. That's typically the camping weather I'm doing. I do go out colder than that, but I only go out day hiking once it gets below freezing. The lowest I've had this bag down to is -4, and it worked like a champ. It was nice and warm in there. This thing really retains the heat really well. It's an expensive bag. There's no doubting that, but it has been my favorite I've had so far. It's kind of one of those situations where it's buy once, cry once. That's what I did here. So this bag being only weighing 1.6 pounds is just so much lighter than anything else on the market. I looked at the rating of the temperatures that this is good down to, and then the weight, and this came out with being the absolute best, tied with I believe it's the Western Mountaineering Mega Light. Those are basically the two best value bags you can get for the weight. If you go with the Summer Light, the Western Mountaineering Summer Light, that one's a little bit less. I think it's around a pound or just over a pound, 1.2 pounds, but it's not quite, it's only down to 0. So this can get you down to easily -5, -10, and you're still quite comfortable. Why do I have a female sleeping bag? Simply put, it has more width in the hips. So if you get a long, this is the long version of the female sleeping bag, which is just barely long enough for me. I'm about 6 feet tall, but it gives you more width in the hips, which allows me, being a side sleeper, I like to tuck my knees up and roll over and sleep on my side, sleep on my back, sleep on my stomach. It gives me more room. That's why I use a female sleeping bag. I highly recommend any guys out there, if you're a side sleeper, look at female sleeping bags, get the long version, because they end up typically being wider in the hips. And then you still get the same width across the shoulders. Male ones are usually wider in the shoulders and tighter in the waist, and a lot of them are really skinny, and I don't like skinny sleeping bags. This one is fantastic.
So you can see here, this is my hips. My knees are here, my legs are straight right now. But if I bend them like that, you can completely bend your knees. It's not even pulling at the fabric. There's extra fabric here. See, I can pull on it. So because this is a women's bag, this just fits so well. It's so comfortable. You can just really move around. There's lots of space. You can see how much I'm lifting one leg up right now, and that's what that is. You can see my leg right there. So this is just really nice and spacious for people who are side sleepers.
This is the Sea to Summit Flame 3. Now you might be wondering, what are the other Flames? And they would be called Spark now with their new system, but the Spark or the Flame 2, it just has less filling and it's lighter, and then the 1 is kind of like a quilt, like it's really light. And then they have the Flame 4, which is even lower. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's down in the, minus 15, minus whatever, 18, something like that. Based on what your needs are, they make a bag for each level of coldness or warmth you want to maintain. The main difference to note though is the Flame 3 allows you to zip the foot box open like this, which is what allows me to use this in summertime, and I can just vent it out, or I can just completely open it up and use it as a quilt. If you go with the Flame 2, they don't allow you to do that. There isn't a zipper on the bottom, which is why I was looking at that one as a potential, but without that zipping of the foot box, I decided to go with the Flame 3. It's more versatile. It's a year-round bag at this point. So that's kind of the ultimate breakdown with sleeping bags is, do you have a quilt for summer and then a warmer bag for the rest of the year? Are you a 2-season, a 3-season hiker? Are you a 4-season hiker? So once you get into kind of the 4th season, you're going to be going with a heavier bag than this. I have another one which goes down to minus 18. And so if I was really going out into the freezing cold, then I would use that one. It's a really tight mummy bag. This one, you can see the mummy bag is quite open, it's wide. There we go. Bag's in there and then it has compression on it here. Let's put the cap on. Cinch this down, all sides here. Get a little more space in your bag and that's it. Pretty small package.
The best part about this sleeping bag is when you're all zipped up like this and it's really snug. I technically have the hood here on my right, but sometimes I use this as a pillow. I was using it last night as a pillow. I kind of put this on the side of my pillow and I side sleep with it like that, which is nice. But then maybe you wake up and you're like getting a little claustrophobic. Well, you can actually just put your arm out like that. Like that is amazing. Then you can just release the tension of the zipper and you're not freaking out. I know, that's a lot of man. Yeah. And it's quite easy to get back in there and then just zip yourself up from the inside and off to bed. You can also use this as a nice little face cover.
Just views for days out here. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're gonna put our sleeping bag back in the tent here, and I'll see you guys on the next one.